back, fans of vector art and MIDI music. We thank my friend Rich for putting together the intro for the show. I really appreciate that from him. But yeah, welcome back. Welcome to episode one. That's going to be confusing in the future. Maybe this is episode two. Maybe I'll just keep confusing myself. Who knows? But anyway, hey, it's John. Welcome back to the Cube Counselor. Got a great reception to the first episode. Was very happy to get feedback from a lot of people that I respect in the community. Thanks to Cultic Cube, John, another John Brostov, J-Bro, for allowing me to plug it on his show. Just a lot of people reached out, a lot of likes, a lot of shares. So that was really nice. So I do appreciate that. So I did want to get that out of the way first. And today we're going to do, I guess I consider this one more of our first episode because I'd like to try to at least pepper in with the drafts a little bit more of a focused discussion. So again, if we're going to transition to streams or things like that where we can interact, we can talk, that's great. But for these episodes, yeah, of course, we want to see some draft, we want to see some gameplay, and I know I like videos like that, so hopefully you do too. You do as well. But yeah, I thought for this one we'd do a little bit more of a focused discussion. Again, I'm still a little bit behind the times. I'm still on the Dekaroo Cube that was up on MTGO early in May. So I'm going to go back and look at some highlights of some games that I played. So we'll start with this one first. And we're going to go through it kind of quick. So again, let me know in the comments if these replay videos are just not what people are digging. Then yeah, we won't do them. But I thought this was a way. The first episode was a little long. This could make things a little more concise. So today, I think for our first video, our first focused video, we're going to be talking about a topic that I would like to dub Radi-Cube acceptance. So for those in the mental health world, what is radical acceptance? Radical acceptance, or what is Radi-Cube acceptance, is based on radical acceptance, which is a theory in dialectical behavioral therapy, which basically boils down to accepting life on life's terms. So recently at work, I did a refresher on this. This is a concept I had heard in the past, and just really enjoyed the concept. The presenter was very good. I'll share one of the slides that she shared. Don't know where she got this from, but we'll be referring to this in future episodes. So this is going to be one of our mantras for the show. We're going to try to focus on, again, Radi-Cube acceptance. And we're going to try and utilize this as one of the skills to help us focus a little bit more on the enjoyment and basically controlling what we can control. So again, what is radical acceptance? Completely and totally accepting something, like I said, life on life's terms. Notice that you're fighting reality. Notice that you're upset or your emotions are getting charged based on something that you can't control. And just utilize that once you've recognized it, that you're resisting some truth in your life, that you have a flat tire, that you opened a pack that doesn't have a bomb rare, anything like that. Hopefully we can utilize this to help us make better decisions, help us control our emotions. I shouldn't even say control our emotions, but control the outcomes of our emotions. Emotions, they come and go. But, if we let them dictate too much what our behavior is, that's when you start getting into issues. If I am angry because someone plays a draft common that I feel like is not very strong in the format, and I let it tilt me off and lose the game, then it wasn't necessarily the anger that got to me. It was the action that I took because of it. I didn't take a moment and say, I can't control what my opponent puts in their deck, and it's a valid card in the format. Any card that's legal can be played. So, things like that. So, and then again, you're going to use that mindset to drive, how you interact with games And again, we'll focus. We talk a little bit about life here, but we'll focus mostly on magic. So yeah, and what radical acceptance is not approval, compassion, passivity. It's not saying we can't change. You can go deeper into this on your own. We may pepper in some more tidbits as we go here, but just the rough overview of how we're kind of applying it to our new term in Radi-Cube acceptance. So it's not me saying if my opponent is rude to me at a match that I'm accepting of that. It's that I'm not going to let that dictate how I play the match. I'm going to try my best not to. It's not saying if somebody cheats that I'm going to accept that and just say, well, that's life. It's going to say, hey, I'm going to take a moment to go, I can't control that. They've done something wrong. Let's inform a judge. Let's move forward. Similarly to things outside of Magic. I can't control right now that I think the air conditioner just kicked on. My family is hot, and it's inching towards summer here, so I can't control that. But what I can control is maybe edit it out in the video. So hopefully you can't hear that in the background. But again, not to go too deep into this stuff, but we've talked a little bit for a while here. So we are going to go through a game here where I felt like it was a really good game. I'll open up. I drafted a mono white deck. Again, a pretty good strategy in the Radi-Cube. And we're flying through the first match here. We got Inquisitioned. Again, hopefully this isn't too quick for people. But yeah, you can let me know if some of the cards in that cube, this Harmonious Archon didn't seem like it was at its best. But you see, we're kind of just, when we're hoping to play a normal curve, we got Thoughtseize, we got Inquisition, Daughter Rachel. So we're playing against blue-black control. And again, we're 2-1 at the time. We could tilt off and say all these, things that we've, all these things that we're seeing here going against our plan, can get us upset. But again, we're playing against a control player. These are cards they're going to play. So we'll slow it down a little bit here. So yeah, he had bounced my Thalia's Lieutenant, so now I get to replay it here. And again, drafted, I felt like a really good deck. I'm 2-0 at the time, going for my first trophy in, oh my gosh, quite some time. So again, we got bounced. We've been counterspelled twice. We've been hand disrupted. We're getting a little salty here. Can't lie about that. Fighting for the cube trophy here. And again, for somebody like myself, it's a big deal. I don't come across them often. I don't think I've ever trophied in Modern, in Draft, once in a while. But in Cube, even online, I feel like they're few and far between for me. So it's something that I like to see. So he's going to soak up some damage with Bone Shredder because he had to pay Echo anyway. And even despite all that, we seem like we're doing pretty well. This Fleet Wheel Cruiser is doing work here. So yeah, remembering that another great content creator, Jim Davis, has taught me, hand disruption is tempo negative. So even though he did a really good job of disrupting what we had, bounced a spell, countered it on the bounce back. That's the issue with hand disruption and counter spells and things like that. Especially, I think he played Supreme Will, again, tempo negative. He paid 3 to counter a 2-mana spell. So yeah, that, is something, again, if I'm just taking a second, if I need a couple seconds in the game to remind myself, hey, these are the way these things go. One of my favorite cards in Cube these days, Rankle, does a lot of work. And boy, it did here. And I forget. Yeah, it's 2 to crew, so I couldn't crew that. So he's getting in with Rankle. I got him at 7, though. He's only got 1 card. Oh, and it's a land. So Porcelain Legionnaire, just what we needed. He's going to be able to crew here. We're going to attack for 6. And we're going to hope it gets us there. He needs a Wrath. Okay, so he concedes. So that's the first game. Okay, so we snuck that one out. Now we're feeling great, right? Emotions are high. Energy levels getting up there. excited to try and go for this 3-0 here. So we're one win away. And again, we kept a one lander there. It was probably too greedy. Again, you're talking about things you can control and not control. Yeah, that was probably greedy, but hey, never didn't have it. We draw out of it. And we got Figure of Destiny and Adanto's Vanguard. We feel like we have a great curve here. I don't know if he boarded into this card. I would doubt that was played, but a good call against aggro. Again, I can't control how the opponent boards, but that was a smart call. And yeah, that frustrates me because even if I attack into it, I'm paying all this life to save that. Now he's got Ophiomancer, Bone Shredder, so he's got a decent package to defend against what we're doing here. We're missing land drops because again, when you keep a one lander, you pretty much got to go land if you want to get to 3 or 4 lands. So again, that was probably a misstep on our part. But we figured we're up a game, we were on the draw. We can take a little bit of a risk there. So yeah, we continue to go through the game here, and we'll just fly through it. I obviously spoiled it already, but there is a game 3. So maybe we should have just skipped to that and got rid of all the semantics. But it is an entertainment show at its heart, so we want to add some excitement to it. So just see some things. We'll talk about this card afterwards. Again, probably a sideboard card at this point. Maybe it didn't occur to me, but then I start thinking, is he Reanimator? What is he doing? Oh boy, I should have stopped it there. Oh god, we got Shinobi. They play our own Mardu Woe Reaper. I think they played one of our lands. This card is busted and so powerful and absolutely destroys us here. But we still have a good board. We got 4/4s. We can start pumping this. I think I forgot to pump that there, so that's a misplay. He can only draw one card. Well, it's dead anyway, so what does it matter? Alright, he brings back Bone Shredder. That's really good. He gets in. I double block because I can't. It's my only chance. Oh my gosh, I hadn't even noticed he was at 100 life. So, all right, so here we go. Game 3. Oops, I forgot the result is obviously there. So don't look at that. Close your eyes. So yeah, we're just gonna walk you through this one real quick. Hopefully the replay goes fast. Again, we keep a 2-lander. We got a 1 mana play. We don't have a 2 mana play. But again, maybe we're a little. I don't want to say tilted, but I was just kind of like, anxious about winning and just kind of frustrated a little bit. So, he took my Fragmentize. Yeah, so that was a good Collective Brutality. He plays that on humans. He gets us there. This is now shrunk. This is another one of my favorite cards that is destroying me here. So I have some mixed feelings when you play against some of your favorite cards of all time. And here comes Rankle again. Rankle is absolutely destroying me. Luckily, it comes into play tapped here. So I play some Warriors. He's got that on humans, so I'm like, okay, Secure the Waste is an instant, so we can play that way. We'll slow it down a little bit here, but yeah, maybe that was a misplay, but thought maybe we got Mana Tithe in our hand. Maybe we should have boarded that out. Can't even do anything about this. Yeah. So he returns Plague Engineer. I didn't block because it has Death Touch. And so now he can replay Plague Engineer. He can get rid of Vampire. He can do. So this is not looking good. But we have Mirran Crusader. Protection from black. Okay. One of my most hated cards. So this is part of why I show this match too. The mixed feelings that you can have. Maybe we shouldn't have such loyalty to cards. But boy, this is a card. Again, I think I've mentioned him. I mentioned on the first episode our wonderful host of this channel, Mr. Hodge himself. He's the person I play Magic with the most, and he loves white cards, and he loves to play these against me. And they are good themselves in the formats we play, but yeah, boy, I think he gets a kick out of that because he knows that I love black and green a lot. So, it's kind of like, all right, I'm winning with a card that I have some shady history with against some of my favorite cards. So this is the part where, again, if we're speaking honestly here, I didn't see this in game 2 and 3. I don't feel like he has a lot of pips. I saw Whip of Erebos. So I'm wondering if because we're aggro, he boarded this in. Now at the time, I was just, again, I don't want to say tilted, but I was a little frustrated. I'm very close to winning. He's taken a lot of extra time through his plays, and I have, this guy who has protection from black. If I can get an equipment or something, I can get through. And oh yeah, oh no rankle. Okay, so yeah, so obviously up to that point, he'd done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. We were at 7 or something like that. So we would have survived this turn. Could have attacked back and won, or he stays back on defense or something like that, or just chips in with rankle. So this just kind of got me a little upset. So then the game's over or whatever. I text my buddy. I'm like, I don't know. I felt like this Gray Merchant was pretty questionable. Come to find out again why I highlight this. I posted that I almost had the 3-0 that I was playing against. I don't even know if I said what I was playing, and lo and behold, I didn't know this. This is the curator of the cube. This is Gwen Decker, the wonderful proprietor of Cube Cobra. So he says on Twitter, "Oh yeah, that was me." So again, if I'm practicing Radi-Cube acceptance, again, I don't feel like it got to me too much, but I do. It is something that I just want to talk through here. I don't feel like I wasn't throwing things or angry or I hate this cube, but I do want to talk through it. So if for an illustration point, then I post, okay, whatever. I'll post on Twitter. I still had a good time. It was a 2-1. I got my money back. I can draft again. Yay. Cube's going pretty good. I think I was 2-1 in the one previous to this with a red blue deck, and then I showed the video with the green deck. So yeah, up to this point I was 2-1 2-1. So again, going for the 3-0, couldn't get there. But I'm like, yeah, I want to post. I'm having a positive experience. I don't even think I tagged him in it or anything. And then he's like, oh, that was me. These were great games. There's a lot of interesting points. He told me he boarded in Whip of Erebos. So that was interesting to me too. Again, I'm over here questioning my opponent's decisions, and he knows the cube better than anybody. So he knew what he needed. So again, it didn't really have an impact, I don't feel like, on my decisions or anything, unless somebody noticed something that I missed. I also think I kept sketchy land, so if I had been able to play this, I could have won too. So again, keeping a 2-land hand. If I'm focusing back on accepting that these are cards that can be played in the cube, what can I control? And then I also did think back. I will be honest, it didn't come up in these games, but I had drafted. I don't know if I missed it or it was like a mid-pack pick, but I had a chance to take Palace Jailer or Benelish Marshal, and I was very heavily, obviously, white aggro. So I took Benelish Marshal, pumps all my. It's three white, pumps, gives all your creatures +1/+1. It's a 3/3. Great pick. Should I have taken Palace Jailer? So I think that's more important. Instead of saying, why did my opponent board into these life gain cards? But that obviously makes sense against aggro, and again, finding that out. And we had a nice exchange, and something positive came of it. So not allowing myself to tilt off and do those things, and accepting, just trying to do something positive and post on Twitter instead of, being salty about it. Then I had a good exchange. So there was a good outcome out of it in the end. So I did want to point that out too. So again, this is a narrow example, but these are the cubes I've drafted recently. So I thought this would be a good chance as I've been thinking about this, this idea of Radi-Cube acceptance. So we're going to show one more match here. And again, I promised these would be short, but it looks like they're not going to be so short. So we'll show another one quickly after this, and maybe we'll go through that one a little bit quicker. And again, don't look, close your eyes. We're just going to show a really quick clip from this video, and at this time I think I'm 1-1, and this is just a fun thing that I wanted to point out because I have mentioned a few times on already in the 2 episodes that I've recorded. Huge fan of J-Bro. I remember, and I didn't even realize it was him at the time I was recording this until he pops in chat here. Or I think I did notice, but anyway, I don't know if it'll show. It'll show his chat. Well, that's too bad. But yeah, you can kind of see the game here. So I'm going for the 2-1 here. And I'll be honest. I'll slow it down here. When I saw his name in the corner, again, this is somebody I look up to personally in Cube and outside of Cube. And, I still get a little starstruck. I remember playing Caleb Durward a couple times. I played him twice in the same modern league, and he stomped me with 2 different decks. And it's still, I get nervous. I played on camera a couple times at our local shop, got nervous, made mistakes. That's just who I am. I try to get better. Hopefully the next time if we do play. So I'm pretty nervous. I'm 1-1. He's playing a control deck, as you can probably tell by the 13 lands. So if he's listening to this, I'm sorry if there were slow plays, if there was things going on. I was nervous. I also was texting my buddy, hey, I'm playing J-Bro. He didn't happen to be streaming at the time, but just fun to talk about because again, he's somebody I really look up to. So here, I wanted to slow it down. I wish I could back it up. In the chat, I think I'm hamming it up with him in chat. We joke. We've talked on Twitter and social media and stuff. I think I typed no, like Darth Vader, no, because I didn't even realize I could give him indestructible and then protect. I just saw this and was just like, I'm done for. So I apologize if J-Bro, if you're listening to this. Honestly, I was a little starstruck. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight a fun match here where, if we weren't going as longer than I had anticipated here, I may show you the other 2 matches. But we're 1-1 at the time. We're going to beat, J-Bro. We're going to have that, to hold against him forever. One of the wonderful co-planners for the CubeCon, which is actually, as we're recording this, was supposed to be this weekend. So a little bit of a downer there. But looking forward to that in the future. And I'll be sure to give the sick rub-ins to him. But yes, I do apologize. And hopefully, if he's not watching this, I'll apologize to him in person. But now he plays Talran, which makes guys when you play instant and sorcery spells. And that looks really bad for me too. So now, again, just being who I am, I was really having a hard time focusing on the match. Instead of just saying, you can't control who your opponents are. You can't control, that they're playing a hard control deck. You just got to play your cards out. Your aggro, of course it's decision points. You don't just want to mindlessly jam. But I made a few mistakes. I definitely made mistakes in other games. I think I attacked in game 2, not realizing he had like a 4 toughness creature or something like that, and ended up having to pay 4 life or lost this creature or something. So again, hopefully he didn't think I was just messing with him in that regard either. But hey, that can be one of the fun things about not playing in person. They can't see you sweat. So again, Secure the Waste was good for us in this. So in this league, I did draft Palace Jailer, so that's part of why I wanted to show this as well. In the other league, I didn't. A very good card. Splitting hairs, but if people want to say in the comments what they would take, wish I had saved the picture of the pack that it was in. But yeah, so this league I did. But again, the results were still 2-1. But yeah, but Palace Jailer, very good in most white decks. But so he becomes a Monarch. Oops, that was a mistake on my part. I mean, I kind of had to do it, but maybe not the best. The best play because then he just gets it back. But then he gets to draw a card. So the Monarch is a mechanic that kind of frustrates me at time. So he plays that. I sacrifice a token. Again, I feel like with Talrand out here, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do again with White Weenie, but these creatures get big, so again, now it's time to just kind of jam. That's all I can really do at this point. He double blocks there. I think that was a good block. I can't really get the Monarch back. Oh no, I can. That's right, because that stays. Yeah, so I do get the Monarch back. And then, he shows me his lands. He says, hey, buddy, good games. Flooded out there at the end, and he totally did. Now, I don't know. He has 3 cards in hand. Um, you know, I don't know if maybe he, was in a hurry or had something else going on. Um, but yeah, he probably can't, block everything, and then I can just tap down his creature anyway. So my first thought was, of course, trying to control that, but negative speech gets into my head that maybe he conceded because I was joking with him about how I needed the play points. But I wish you could have seen the chat. It was a good time. But did want to highlight that match as well as I love Cube, and that's part of what I love about Cube is the community. So I got to play 2 awesome members of the community. Gwen I hadn't met before. I had known his work, through Cube Cobra and him also being a part of CubeCon. But yeah, so we're going to close this episode with our good friend. One of the things I had mentioned earlier is that, part of the refresher I did on Radical Acceptance, she showed this graphic. And, this applies to, things in your life, but you can put, anything you want related to Magic, pepper it in here as well. Limiting your time on Magic, social media, other players' motives, like I said, cheating or trying to get edges in the game. Predicting what your opponents will play or what card is coming next. Certainly, you want to be prepared. You want to, control your own attitude. But you can't control a lot in the world, and you can't control a lot in Magic. All you can do is prepare yourself. Get to know the cube that you're playing. Get to know the cards that you're playing. That's something that I make mistakes about. But even then, there's only so much time in the day, so you can't beat yourself up too much because you forgot. Giant Killer's second ability was, can only kill a 4 power creature or greater. You can't. I think it would be better for everybody if we accepted what we can change and accepted what we can't change and worked on what we can. So that's kind of how I'll wrap it up here. Our friend Mr. Farfinder, the Fox here, may come back in future episodes as I try to utilize this exercise in myself in trying to help how I play Magic, how I interact with other people playing Magic, which is really, comes down to what I can control in this game. And yeah, so I do appreciate people tuning in to the second episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this. A little longer than I had thought. We'll try to keep these to 20 or 30 minutes, and hopefully we stayed under that here. Not looking at the final time, but I know the first one was a little longer. So again, comments if these little snippet episodes are what you want to see. If you'd rather just watch the drafts and then the gameplay. If these were 2 separate drafts, so if you didn't like not knowing the picks that I made and things like that, let me know in the comments. I'm anti_drummer on Twitter, so hit me up on there. And yeah, thanks everybody. And remember, the theme of the show is we get better together. So I appreciate all the feedback so that I can get better. And hopefully, at least entertainment wise, these videos are benefiting you in this challenging time. Take care, everybody.